Welcome to McGill 360. So we'll talk about the basketball game last night. It was an important game. McGill was ranked number 1. They played Concordia University, was ranked number 2. Concordia won, left with the win, 71-66. So we'll go to the
Showtime! McGill versus Concordia for this first position. Taking the early lead with a good 2-foul shot from Mariam Silla. And later in the game, a good 3-point for Diana Ross. Then a nice twist from Mariam Silla again, getting this good 2 points. However, McGill keep missing some good 3-point opportunity in this game. And Mariam Silla again for another 2. McGill defense was pretty good, but they allowed some 3 points in this game, getting from the outside. And they still managed to block some good shot. Mary Pierre-Bastrash blocked it and built a good play. And it was good for a 3-point for Ellen Bibo. However, Concordia managed to stay in the game with their good player, Marie-Lise Roivio, which scored several good 2 points, and it was a 16-16 after this first quarter. But then, Ellen Bibo started the early lead in the second quarter. But then, Kaylee Barrett was able to close the gap with a good 3 points. However, Diana Rust keeps scoring 2 points for McGill. That was the first one. And then she was able to grab the ball from a pass from Mariam Silla and go for another one. And then, on her turn, Ellen Bibo played some great defense and caught the ball, which later led to a good 2-foul shot for Mariam Silla. And with few seconds to go in their offensive play, Richelle Grégoire was able to score a good 3 points. And then it was turn for Cynthia Suissa for another 3-point for Concordia. At least Diana Ross kept scoring some good 2 points for McGill. But Concordia came out stronger every time, and they scored good 3 points. And where McGill missed, Concordia was successful. Richelle Grégoire built on some good plays like this one, which goes for a good 3 points. And again, Richelle Grégoire built another good play. Even though McGill scored some good 2 points, the advantage was to Concordia with a 42-34 lead after this first half. At the beginning of this third quarter, Concordia came out pretty strong, and they keep putting pressure on McGill, which allows them to score a good 3 points, as this one. McGill still managed to score several 2 points. However, Concordia were way too strong, and the pressure was too hard for McGill. The score difference was a 10, a 50-40 lead at this point. And Concordia number 8, Marie-Lise Roivio, really stood out in this game. Look at this layup, a 360 flip with a good layup. And then, she was also successful at her foul shot throw. And right after, She came out for another 2 points. On their side, McGill keep missing their 3 points. And like if it wasn't enough, McGill also missed their 2-point chances. Like this one. We can say that it wasn't McGill's best quarter so far, which led to a 61-45 lead for Concordia. For this fourth quarter, McGill really gave all what they got. 2 points for Miriam Silla, and then first fall shot, good. Second fall shot, good again. And the third one. And the fourth one. And a fifth one. And a sixth one. All successful, which brought back McGill into the game. And then another 2 points for Miriam Silla, closing the gap. And 3 points for Ellen Bibo. And this 2 points will have brought McGill back into the game with only 1 point back. Miriam Silla missed her previous shot, but this time she's successful for 2 points. But then Concordia started reacting with a good fall shot even. But McGill still wanted more, and Valérie Lecuyer scored a 2 fall shot, making it a 63-62 game for Concordia so far. And then a turnover from Ellen Bibo, which almost created a 2-point opportunity, and McGill would have took the lead. Instead of this, Miriam Silla got 2 fall shots, and both were successful, giving the lead to McGill, 64-63. On their side, Concordia reacted at the right time and had some energy left, which allows them to score a back-to-back 2-point basketball, and also score their full shot. McGill didn't even though want to lose, and Miriam Silla catch a good rebound and score her 2 points. However, that wasn't enough to catch back Concordia from their good second and third quarter, and McGill lost that game 71-66.
Welcome back to our studio. I'll introduce you to our panelists for tonight. So on the left, we have our basketball insider Charlie Normand from the Windy City, Chicago. On my right, we have Vincent PP, our basketball analyst. And on my far left, we have Mr. Raymond, our other basketball analyst. So now I'll let our basketball insider Charlie Normand speak a bit about the game yesterday.
Alright, so just to start, it was a really special game. Yesterday night we had Concordia against McGill. They were playing, McGill team usually play in red or in white, but they were in pink because Marie-Pierre Bastrache Mothers, a player of McGill University team, her mother, she had breast cancer and she was speaking at halftime. It was really emotional. As we could see, she was really proud of her daughter who was studying medicine also at McGill. So it was a really emotional moment for everyone in the stands and in the crowd. So just to tell you a little bit about her, she's been studying medicine since it's her first year actually, and she was really proud of her doing all the hard works and being able to combine basketballs and her hard study in medicine together and to be successful in both of those fields.
So we have our other basketball analyst, insider, Alexandre Martineau, who went at the game and interviewed Marie-Pierre Bastrache. So we'll leave you for a couple of seconds to go see which
post-game interview with Marie-Pierre Bastrache, first-year player from Concordia. So first of all, we saw her mother at halftime coming for the game. How nervous was you because she was there for the game?
Well, she always comes to my game. My parents are really supportive.
Okay.
It sure was special for her to speak. She was really honored when McGill asked her to do so. But during halftime, we don't get to hear it. Yeah. So I'm going to go on SSN tonight, and I know they filmed the halftime, and I'll watch what she said.
We won't give you the punch, but she offered you some great things. After it, tonight was a big game against Concordia. First team, your first fight, big game for you. come to an end losing by 5 points. I know it's difficult, but what was maybe the things that came up short at the end?
Well, we didn't start off like we would have liked to.
Okay.
In second quarter, we got down, and I think it was like our coach said, it's really the little things. Like Concordia is really good at capitalizing on our small errors. So we came back into the second half. We had another slow third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, we showed a lot of character, and I think that was great for us. It shows us that whenever we compete, whenever we do the little stuff, then we're in the game, and we can give anybody. We can have a chance to win if we play. We didn't play up to our expectations, but we have our eyes on the end of the season.
Yeah, winning last year, you weren't there, but
yeah, I wasn't there.
They win. You know, maybe you have a size advantage at some point. Is it something you want to take the next game, maybe?
Exactly. On our team, we have a focus on the post with Mariam and Annette. Obviously, it hurt us a lot that Annette was in there today because usually we like when both of them are on the court at the same time. Concordia isn't able to match both of our players, so they were getting a little bit more on help on Mariam in comparison if Annette would have been there. But yeah, we were looking to get it in and then to kick it out to open shooters, but they got their rotations down well and.
So at some point, even for you, shooting a lot from the 3 points and from the 2 point for long shot, it maybe costs you a little bit to don't have Annette in the center to open you some shot.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
Thanks a lot for your time.
My pleasure.
Welcome back to our studio after that little interview. So I'll let Vincent speak about Concordia's philosophy entering the game and the strategies and how it went for them through that game.
Yeah, Concordia had a pretty good game. They start pretty slow. For just as I said, during the first quarter, it was 16-16 after the first quarter. But then they came pretty strong during the second and the third quarter. They scored 26 points and 19 points compared to 18 and 11 points for McGill, which created them a huge advantage against McGill. They scored a lot of 3 points. They scored 30 points during the whole game with only 3-pointers, which is pretty good for Concordia. And McGill were pretty weak on that side of the game. And they scored also 23 points for the field goal, which is pretty good for Concordia, and took an advantage on the game.
All right, thank you very much. Now on the other side to Mr. Raymond, how did the game go for McGill?
McGill started very well, like at the beginning of the game. Because they had the advantage for like they were bigger and taller than the Concordia players, but at the end, like McGill, the McGill team was not able to capitalize on the rebound because they were like 37 rebounds against 22. And they were not able to score in the net. McGill missed a lot of 3 points because they just got 4 on 16 3-point. So it was a big disadvantage for them because they missed a lot of shots of 3 points. And then on the forecourt, there was a coming up by the McGill team because they come back with 21 points again, 10 points for Concordia. So, but they were not able to catch up.
So as Mr. Raymond said, McGill came back, but they fell short of the game. How about you, Vincent? Did any player really stand out for Concordia? They really had a good game. Did they score more points than the other ones? And
yeah,
can you talk to us about that?
There was no specific player used in that game. Concordia played a team game, as we can call. They really used all their players in the game, and there's 4 players, even though there is not a specific player that came out. There's 4 players. There's Kaylee Barrett, Marilise Roivio, Ashley Clark, and Richard Grégoire, who were the 4th leader of the Concordia team. They each scored 10 to 16 points during the game, which is pretty good, I would say. And yeah, they used the advantage of every player during that game instead of one specific player.
All right, good for them. And for Mr. Raymond, or McGill, did any players stand out? I heard Diana Ross had a pretty good game, so can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, there were only 3. Like it was more an individual performance for McGill. compared to Concordia, as Vincent said. We have like a 2 player that really
Stood out.
Yeah, exactly. For the first player, it was Diana Ross, as you said. She made 15 points. Marianne Silla, who made 23 points, and Ellen Bibo, who did 17 points. So yeah, it was more an individual, and the other player didn't contribute to the score.
So now we'll go back to Alex Martineau. After the game, you went in the locker room and took the pulse of the players. So if I'm not mistaken, he has an interview with Gabriela Hébert. So we'll be back after the
Post-game interview tonight with Gabriela Hébert after loss 71-66. First of all, second-year player. How did you approach this game against Concordia tonight? What came short at the end by 5 points?
Well, I think it's always important against this team to prove that we're in a good position and we always want to beat them, so that's for sure. But also at the end of the season, it's always important to get the court advantage in the playoffs because it's played a big role in the big games happening.
And then at some point, losing by 15 points, you made some change. You came back at the end, it was pretty close, only 1 point and tie at some point too. What missed to win this game?
I think the big factor in that game, we were not disciplined enough. We made too many little mistakes that we weren't able to capitalize on those ones, making shots. So I think we were close at the end, but just a little down the stretch, it wasn't enough.
Winning last year championship, this year probably the same goal.
Yeah, it's for sure a goal that we want to accomplish again after like touching the gold medal. You want to redo it again for
You know Concordia is probably your biggest opponent this year. They're tied with you in the first place. So next game against them.
Probably going to be, well actually it's going to be in the playoff for sure because we're done now. Yeah, we played the 4 games against them.
So going to this game, you said discipline would be a factor. What else? Maybe shots?
Yeah, well for sure the little details. That's what our coach said at the end. We have to be sharp coming to the game, knowing what we have to do, and then execute the game plan.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Thanks for your time.
We'll come back in the studio again. After that interview, we'll go to our basketball insider Charlie Normand, who will explain what happened during the McGill game and come back in the interview with Marie-Pierre Bastrache.
Alright, so thanks Max. So basically there are 3 points that could have been better in this game. You know, it's a really close game. McGill were first, Concordia second, so they really had to stick to the game plan, but they were not really able to do it during all the game, and that's a major problem they had, and maybe one of the top reasons why they lost this game. So first of all, Gabriela Hébert, they couldn't be able, she told us in the interview that the game plan was to get in the area and move the ball and then be able to pass the ball outside for a 3-point shot. First of all, they haven't been able to do this, but also they only had 25% of their 3 points attempts. So you know, so right there, they are 2 points, where they could have been better and maybe capitalize on this to make some baskets and make score some important points. The last thing I wanted to share, as I said, is Marie-Pierre Bastrache. She is one of the top players of the league. It's first year right now at McGill. She's a really strong player, and when you're playing against a team like Concordia, who's second in the ranking, she has to step more and be more important for the team. And she only made 5 points, so she could have stood up a little bit more. Thank you.
So to come back to what Charlie said, yeah, McGill didn't really respect the game plan. They had trouble bringing the ball in and out of the 3-point line. You know, their game plan was really to use their size, right, and try to bring the ball inside to the tallest players and use that advantage, and then bring it back out to shoot the 3 points. And you know, one of their best players, as Charlie said, is Marie-Pierre Bastrache. To come back to Marie-Pierre, Marie-Pierre is a 3-point shooter. She couldn't do it that game. It didn't go her way. As she said in the interview, she admitted to not really following the game plan and not having the greatest game that they could yet.
I'd like to say as well that Marie-Pierre Bastrache and Françoise Charest, they didn't respect the game plan as well. At the end of the game, they got some personal fault that cost them the W at the end of the game. With some where Concordia was able to spread the game and reach a victory.
So in recap, before we end the show and go to a break, McGill started pretty strong, and then towards the end of the first quarter, Concordia came back. Then Concordia had a big effort in the second and third quarter and took the advantage. McGill stepped back in the game at the end in the fourth quarter. They played pretty good, but they had some personal faults, as Vincent said, and it cost them the game at the end. They only lost by 5 points. Hitting those 3-pointers and not getting the penalties would again given them a good chance of winning the game. So now off to our info section. We have some exclusive news right now. I can see. So we wanna let you go to Andrew Pearson, who went to interview Felix Laverne, who got disqualified today at his race, and also we want to congratulate Grace Quinn on her great CIS championship performance today. And I just see that Chris Beauchamp didn't qualify for the finals, so hope the best for him for the rest of his career.